Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning. Dzień dobry. Great news. I can see. Here we go. For YouTube people, I see we fixed it. I managed to fix it. Not this side. This side. Managed to fix. I can see the YouTube comment in the chat on the left. Excellent. That's what we wanted. Hello. Is it a test server? No, it's not a test server. It's not yet. The test server is not yet live. But yesterday they made an announcement that the test server backup is happening next week. So we've got preparation for the preparation. It's still going to be at least 2 weeks until the test server. But, finally it's moving. Am I the only one on Kick? Perhaps. I mean, I've just started, right? Just started 4 minutes ago. So perhaps you are the only one on Kick so far. Here in Mexico, it's 1 a.m. Okay. All right. That must be hard to claim a respawn after server save. Must stay up late. Hello. All right. So the plan for today is nothing special. We've got the weeklies finished. I finished my Hand of Cursed Fate bestiary yesterday. So now, and then I managed to get War Dragon bounty, silver. So we're going to start off with that. I also had a free Dragalisk damage prey as well. So we'll basically be having double damage prey. So it's not going to take too long. Maybe if we get lucky, we'll get a couple Nimisat bounties back to back. We'll see. Everyone's waiting for Kushner's secret information regarding rebalance. I don't have any secret information, but I will be there on day one. I hope they announce when the test server is going to launch at least a couple of days in advance. They usually don't, though. They usually announce like a day in advance. I hope it's a couple of days so that I've got some time to request time off work for the launch of the test server for a couple of days. So I would request time off work for the first and second day of the test server because I think that would be very hype. Lots of content to make. So we shall see. Stream Elements bot running on YouTube. I don't want Stream Elements on YouTube. Let me just disable that. That shouldn't be running. Hey, Stream Elements, what you think you're doing? I disabled you already. Hang on a minute. How do I disable it? I've just disabled all the commands. I don't know if it's... I'll figure that out later. I don't want Stream Elements on YouTube. Anyways, you got triple stream? Yeah, I've got triple stream. Got triple stream going. We're doing Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. Why not? Hello, everyone. Hey, Quinn. Hey, Yuki-cha. TS before or after double? I think it's probably going to be before, right? Let me check. So double... Oh, no. Double is on the 2nd, right? It could be either way. Could go either way. It could be either the week before double or the week after double. I hope it's the week before. You think they're going to nerf the monk again? No, I don't. I think they're going to buff the monk. What change are you most excited about? Probably the sorcerer changes. The elemental stances, extremely cool. And the stances for the EK, so you don't have to cast Utito. So nice. So nice. I'm here for a moment. Busy day at work. No problem, Quinn. No problem. No worries. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know when they're going to launch it. I do hope it's going to be, the sooner the better for me, right? The sooner the better for me. I hope. I hope. So the backup is on the 21st, right? So a week later on the 28th, the test server could launch. I think last time or the time before we did have a test server during some double and they didn't care. So I would probably vote for the 28th for the test server. Is this the test server? No, still a couple couple of weeks. Can you elaborate on buff? So I think they over nerfed the monk a few months ago just so that they had some breathing room for making him better on in the rebalance. And yeah, I mean he's going to be much better for team hunts and probably similar for solo hunting, but his solo hunting is fine. I just think he's going to be much better. He's going to be much better for team hunting. What about nerfing the paladin? I don't think it's necessarily going to be a nerf. It's going to be only a nerf for high level paladins. Anyway, we're going to wait for the test server. I don't want to talk all day about test server when we still don't have any more information. We will, of course, be covering all the changes when the test server launches. Plenty of things to talk about then, of course. Finally able to see you. Sadly, it's 2 a.m. here. Sorry. I kind of stream random times. So at least, if you watch on YouTube, there's at least going to be VODs, right? You can always watch the VOD on YouTube. By the way, while I have you, the YouTubers, can I just check that you can't hear the music? Because again, I was messing with my audio tracks a little bit more. I think I fixed all the audio now. But I hope that YouTubers can't hear the music. So if you want to listen to some music, you're going to have to listen to some music, on your end. You can't. Okay, excellent. I have the music disabled, the audio track for music disabled for YouTube. As you probably know, YouTube pretty strict about copyright and they demonetize you, etc., etc. So no music for you folks. I'm sorry. But yeah. All right, but you can hear me all good. Well, that's important. Maybe adjust the weapons. I don't think they'll adjust the weapons. I don't think I don't think there'll be any item adjustments or any new items as part of the test server. So no, I would not expect that. Love the stances. Tipsoft was having good ideas. I mean, not gonna lie, the stances was like proposed to for like years and years, right? To Tipsoft. So I'm not quite sure it's like necessarily, their idea, but yeah. How much gems they're going to have to change? Yeah, that is something that could change. Greater gems. I don't think they're going to change existing greater gems too much. But the thing is, the meta for what the best greater gems are going to be is probably going to change quite significantly. And they may need to add new greater gems, right? For example, the 2 new spells for the Paladin or the new spells for Druid and... hell, everybody's getting new spells, right? They'll probably add some new greater gems, I would say. And if not during the rebalance, then maybe in the summer update. Depends if they had enough time to make the greater gems. What vocations you will play after? Well, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for the test server to fully decide. But I'm gearing towards sorcerer and paladin, and I already have the characters ready. I have a low level one and like a mid level one, so to basically cover all the sort of relevant content. Is monk the best solo vocation right now? Up to a point. I would say monk is currently the most enjoyable solo vocation. Falls off at higher level though, at like 1k plus. Paladin is much better. And anyway, this is bound to change very, very soon. But yeah, monk is very comfortable, very, very enjoyable to play. Which levels have you got? I have like level 60 sorcerer and level 90 paladin for like the low level content. As I progress through them, the low level stuff. And I have a level 550 paladin and a level 520 sorcerer. So I'll basically use the low levels to cover all the content from like, level 50 to level 400. And then I've got the higher level characters, which I'll use to cover all the content from like 400 to 700. That's kind of the plan. And after I've done the sorcerer and paladin, then we'll probably do EK after that. But that is still, still pending the test server and seeing what the test server is like. I'm just basing it on what we've seen so far, but, maybe the Druid will end up being really good and I'll go for Druid instead. Don't know yet. Hey, man, long time no see. Bravoria is finally open. Are you coming? Right now, no. Because I'm not going to be playing the monk anyway. So to be honest, Rick, Kalanta is okay anyway. Kalanta is pretty fun. It's good enough for what I needed. If Bravoria was open when I was transferring, those few months ago, I would have gone to Bravoria. But now that I'm on Kalanta, it's okay. Plus, I'm not really planning to play this character very much after the rebalance. I have my like low level characters, which I'm not going to be transferring. They are on Nevia, so I'm probably going to be back on Nevia after the rebalance. Can you show what gems do you rock? I have a sweeping takedown base damage gem. So this is the only greater gem I have, the only greater gem I ever opened, and it's Poggers. So that's the one I run. Sweeping takedown base damage. Very, very solid universal gem. Always going to be good. The other two that are really good are the Ascetic and Spiritual Outburst, Revelation Masteries. Those I wouldn't mind either. But sweeping takedown base damage, also very, very good. I'm not sure which one is best, to be honest. I guess it depends on the level range. Because if the Revelation Mastery gets you an extra Revelation perk, then probably those are best in slot. But if it doesn't, then the sweeping takedown base damage is probably better, right? I got yesterday Fury of Blows base damage. That one could be really good. They are changing Flurry of Blows fairly significantly. There's quite a lot of buffs in the wheel for it. I do see a world where after rebalance, we switch Chain Penance for Flurry of Blows as the default builder. So yeah, I mean, that Flurry of Blows base damage could well be the best gem after the rebalance. We're going to have to see, but that I would definitely keep that one because that one might be really good. Quick question, since I have you here. I'm going with a level 300 monk. Do you think it's better to go up with hunting task or leveling up normally into the task later on? Honestly, it's about what you enjoy, right? It's more efficient. The higher level you are, the more efficient and faster it is to do the tasks. But you can still progress the tasks at a level 300, no problem, right? I don't know. If you want a PG and you really want to get your levels fast, then just EXP normally ignoring the tasks is better. But it does provide a fair amount of progression and sort of alternative content so you don't get bored and burnt out, right? But for optimal experience per hour, just doing regular hunting is going to be better. Any tips for bossing with the monk? In the team hunt, I mean. So bossing or team hunt? I'm not sure what you mean now, Tade. So I guess I can answer both. For bossing, it's base. But you know what? For team hunts and for bossing, it has the same role. It's primarily a damage dealer, but also a support heal, right? You're gonna have to learn. He does have a Sio, a 2 seconds cooldown Sio, and you want to get used to using that. And you're basically kind of like a druid, right? You're supposed to deal damage, but you're also supposed to, drop a heal now and then. So you're kind of like a druid, but not the primary healer, right? You're like the secondary healer that also does damage. In some bosses, you can't get close. In some bosses, you just have to be casting spells from the distance because they love like mechanics. But primarily, you just basically stand next to the boss, next to the EK, and just do damage. And every now and then, you can heal the EK. That's it. And Team Hunt's kind of similar, right? You're primarily just doing damage. And every now and then, you heal the EK. Shema, Marek. When is the test server going to be? It's not going to be the 21st. So no, it's not going to be 21st. It is just the backup. The test server itself will likely be either 1 week or 2 weeks after that. So either the 28th or like the 5th of May. So either the 28th of April or 5th of May, whatever the Tuesday is the likely date for when the test server launches. I would hope it's the 28th of April. But I think it's dependent on whether they don't need to make some last minute changes, right? I'm doing a Saurus Prayer guide at the moment as a 391 monk, but only reach 4.1 kk per hour. Okay, well, you just need a little bit more practice. Definitely much more doable than that. I've literally seen below level 300s doing around 5 kk raw there just the other week. So it's definitely possible. Just got to work on your movement and efficiency. It's definitely possible. Spiritual Outburst better here. You know what? I only really use Spiritual Outburst every 2 minutes as part of double spender with Focus Harmony. I don't like Outburst enough to use it as a primary spender. Plus, I have the sweep and takedown base damage gem. So I just use sweep and takedown as my main spender. And then every 2 minutes, when I get focus harmony up, I use it, and then I do a double spender back to back. I don't know if Outburst would be better here by default. I don't think so. Outburst is really good by default when you've got like 7, 8 monsters around you. When you've got more than that, when you've got like 15, 20, I think takedown is better. Nork Fortress is a good respawn where Outburst is like the default spender because generally you have about a box worth of monsters there. And usually that's better to use Outburst than takedown. Is flat HP gems better than 5% mitigation gems in the wheel? Today, yes. They are changing the mitigation gems after as part of the rebalance, I believe. And if the numbers that they proposed in the dev note stick, if they stay as they said, then I do believe that the mitigation gems will be the best gems, past the mid game. Of course, early game, early level, flat HP is always going to be the best, just because your HP pool is so low, and they help you so significantly, like avoiding headshots at like Grim Reapers and stuff. But past mid game, if the mitigation gems are changed in the way that they said they will change them, basically buff them by like 300% or something, then mitigation gems will in fact be the best, sort of most versatile gems to have at level 300 plus or so. I got 2 5% mitigation gems and 1 200 HP flat. So at the moment, just use the flat plus 1 mitigation. It's fine. But yeah, that mitigation one, yeah, right now it's 5%. If you were to upgrade that, it would be 7.5. Right? Because you get 50% upgrade in the gem Atalia, whatever. But they're going to be improved by a further 300% in the rebalance. So after the rebalance, an upgraded mitigation gem would be 30% mitigation multiplier, which actually is fairly significant when you have like 2% mitigation or so. It bumps it up to like 2.6% mitigation, right, per gem, which gives you like a flat 0.6% damage reduction to basically everything other than agony. So yeah, it's actually going to be good. What level start EXP Monk here? 600? Yeah, you can start at 600. It's pretty hard at 600. You have to like definitely still pay attention. By level 400, you can just kind of almost hunt here with your eyes closed. But at 600, yeah, it can be a little stressful. But yeah, 600 is fine. Hey, Mile. Any reason why quitting Monk? I have had the most fun with Monk in Tibia, and I have been playing on and off since 2004. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not quitting it because it's going to be less fun or bad or anything like that. I'm quitting it because it's not really been changed all that much, and I've been playing it for like the past year, and I just want to play with the new fancy shiny toys after the rebalance, right? That's all. I love this game. I love some of the changes that Tipsoft is making, so I just want to try out the new vocations, and I think people will be more interested in me showing some other vocations rather than just playing Monk again, right? I've been playing Monk for the past year or so, and I love it. I still love it. I still think it's very, very fun. I still really like playing it. I still will consider myself a Monk main, even when I'm playing a different vocation. But for the content and for the variety, I am going to be changing vocations after the rebalance. And maybe we'll go back to the Monk after like a year or so, right? Maybe we'll play other vocations for a year. We'll record some guides for YouTube. And then we'll probably go back to the Monk eventually anyway. Best viewers provided. Oh, God. We don't have any mods on Twitch, do we? Now, how do I ban this guy? Hang on. Let me see. Twitch chat widgets. Here we go. Hang on. Let me kill this and see if I can figure out how to ban this bot. All right, let's see. How do I ban him? There we go. Ban. Ban. All right. I guess I'll need to figure out some mods on Twitch. I don't think I have any. Twitch wasn't so bad for this. Kick is very bad for the bot spam, but Twitch didn't used to be so bad. I wonder if it's gotten worse since I've been gone. Just changing the toys. Yeah, basically, right? I mean, fancy new toys, right? Monk is going to be even stronger after the rebalance, especially for team hunting. It's going to be like very, very good. But ultimately, the gameplay is not going to be that different. You know, it's me playing, hunting Nimesats right now. When you watch me hunt Nimesats after the rebalance on a solo monk, it's going to be basically the same, right? So I don't think it's like the best content, but as a player, I think Monk is going to be totally fine after the rebalance. As a content creator, it's just not that exciting. That's all. Back to real RL. Yeah, we back to RL a bit. I still play a bit of Igua OT, but yeah, I'm slowly gained the urge to play a bit of RL again, especially on stream. I'm not playing much outside of stream, but I want to keep the stream going, and the test server starting soon. So, hello, Houdini. Buy a EK again, bro. I'm not going to buy an EK. I'm going to level an EK. In fact, I have EKs also waiting for after the rebalance. Don't worry, I have everything. I have a level 50 EK with like 100 sword fighting, and I have a level 220 EK with 120 sword fighting. So when I'm done with the sorcerer and paladin content, we'll be switching to EK probably. I'm not even sure if I'm definitely going to play these. I'm considering maybe starting on a new server as an EK. It's been a while since I started a new server. Don't know. We're going to see. Well, we'll see how it all goes. Hope they don't mess up solo huntings for monks, because I'm going to go solo. No, solo will basically be unchanged, I think. You're going to get this new spell. So, okay, so there may be a couple of changes to solo monk. First of all, you're going to have this new spell, this 1,000 Fist Blow, whatever. I don't think it's going to be super duper useful for solo. We're going to have to see. I expect it to be primarily a team hunting spell for when you like pulling packs of monsters, because it's kind of hard to hit like Flurry of Blows or Chain when you're like, running, 4 of you are running from box to box. And I think that's where the new spell will be really good. But I'm not sure it's going to be that useful for solo hunting. But there may be some changes to the wheel, for example, that will be quite good for solo hunting, like the changes to Flurry of Blows. Maybe Flurry of Blows will be the new default as builder with the great area of effect, right? In the T2 Flurry of Blows. We'll see. But you're not going to be... I really, really, really do not think you're going to be weaker as a solo monk. You might just not be all that much stronger. You'll definitely be much stronger in team hunts, though, or much more useful to the team. Where's Igua? It's still going. It's still going. I think generally speaking, though, people prefer a real Tibia content from me. Plus, I'm getting a little burnt out on Igua. I think I probably just need a bit of a break. I've been playing it so much the past couple of weeks. Maybe it's time for some real Tibia. Gotta say, it's so hard for me to hit your EXP per hour rates. I think it is for most people. But like that's kind of the point, I do my very best to provide the absolute peak of a spot, because I think, at least for me, that's how I like to look at spots and evaluate spots. I want to know what's possible, because then that gives me the incentive to keep improving and practice and try and reach that top experience, right? If I don't know what the top possible experience is at the given spot, then I might not even know that more is capable, right? This happened to me before. I was like hunting like Nagas as a monk, and I was doing like some experience. And then someone shared a video of someone doing like 500k raw more, and I was like, wow, I had no idea this was even possible. And I just looked at the route, and I copied it, and yeah, we're doing 500k more. So that's why I think it's most useful to make guides which show, you know, some of the very top possible results, because then it gives people the sort of benchmark what to aim for and how to improve, etc. Right? Hey, Kachapaka. You said no RL until rebalance? Yeah, well, can't stay away from Tibia, dude. Can't stay away. Anyway, you know, the test server hopefully gonna start in a couple of weeks. I don't know how many streams we're gonna have until then, probably like 3 or 4. So yeah, maybe we'll have like 3 or 4 real Tibia sessions while I just grind some bounties and such. You think EK will be much stronger after rebalance? I don't think EK will be much stronger. I think he'll be much safer and more comfortable. Like, he's gonna be the go-to easy chill vocation for sure, which is great. I sometimes like to you know, just chill out, you know, not have to worry too much, simple play. But I don't think he's gonna be like suddenly making much better results or anything. You know, maybe he'll be making like 2-3% more in places. But I'm not anticipating like a massive buff to the EK or anything. It's just going to be much more comfortable. Which, you know what, is the primary complaint about EK though, right? The foot pedal, you know, that people use for like healing and stuff. Nightmare, right? I'm glad that is likely going away. Hey, Christian, what's your view on tier on boots? I wouldn't bother with it unless I like had a lot of tiers everywhere else, right? If you have like a full T3 or higher set, if you've got T3 helmet, legs, armor, weapon, then I would probably do a tier 2 or tier 3 boots as well. But unless you are such a big spender, such a big whale, then no, boots aren't really gonna be worth it. Is hype back slightly? I'm slightly regaining the hype. The hype will hit its peak when I get the full like patch notes for the test server. So, you know, when the test server launches, we log into the test server, we open up the forum, and, you know, they're gonna have a thread for every single vocation with all the changes listed. That is going to be like the ultimate peak hype moment. Yeah, I mean, Meisha, this plays, you know, keep in mind also that I'm streaming, right? I focus a lot less when I'm streaming. This place with double what I have now, because if you notice, I have a damage prey on the Dragalisk and a bounty on the War Dragon. If I was full on focus off stream playing here, I can reach around 9kk raw here with a double, basically a double prey setup like that. Is it normal that I do 2.3kk EXP at level 140 on Grims? Well, the 80, you say you got 80 Fist. I don't know how much impact the 80 Fist has, but I went to Grim Reapers not that long ago on a level 150 after all the nerfs, so on current patch, and I could do 3kk raw, but he had I did 3.1kk raw actually, and he had 105 Fist, so I don't really know if that 80 Fist is the problem. Maybe. I think you could probably still do a little bit more. I think you could probably push like 2.6, maybe 2.7. But yeah, the Fist is definitely a factor. Use multi-action hotkey for combo or use it separate? For combo, I use multi-action on the monk for the builders. So my multi-action is Chain Penance, Greater Flurry of Blows, Flurry of Blows. That's my multi-action that I use. It's the only multi-action I really use when solo hunting on the monk. I don't use a multi-action for the spenders. Why you don't have tier on helmet? That is the next one I would do. The primary reason is because I think the tier on the helmet is worth more at a higher level. I think if you have like double greater gem with focus, harmony, cooldown reduction, plus tier 3 spiritual outburst, so like level 1k plus, well into like 1k plus, that's when I think momentum can potentially pay off huge. So I would consider maybe tiering the helmet then. Plus, I don't really know how long this helmet will be best in slot, right? The sanguine items I felt safe tiering because they're going to be best in slot for a very long time still. But the helmet could be replaced any update, to be honest, right? If a new helmet came out, then I would tier it. But anyway, also the consideration is that I'm not actually planning to play the monk much in the near future, right? So even less of a reason to spend too much money on tiering. You run your numpad and 12-button mouse. Just a 12-button mouse. I don't have a numpad. I have a small keyboard. You know, without the numpad. You switch Discord announcements from Botrix to pin code. I hate that fucker. Blocked. Sorry, Antaria. We can go back to Botrix, to be honest. We can go back to Botrix. It doesn't make a difference. Botrix also has a Twitch, YouTube, and Kick integration. It's just that pin code was already set up from months ago. I may go back to Botrix if it's a problem. What should I focus to buy on? 400 Monk, Helmet and Ring. Helmet and Ring, Soulka Mask maybe if you've got lots of funds. Spirit Fawn won't be replaced. Probably not just yet, but it will be one day. Is Monk the undisputed best solo hunter? Only up to a certain level. I would make the argument that Monk is the best solo hunter probably until at least like level 800 or so. At that point, it starts to tilt towards the Paladin. What do you think about the E-ring changes for RP? I don't know. I understand why Tipsoft doesn't like the E-ring usage as it is. I do think it makes Paladins a little bit too immortal. But then they're given barrier to the mages. And in their current format, the barrier is like very, very good. If they didn't add the barrier for the mages, I would not be against the E-ring changes. But it's like, well, it's kind of you go in opposite directions, right? You're giving the mages survivability while taking it away from paladins and monks. I mean, the E-ring changes are even worse for the monks, right? I use the E-ring all the time, and if it stays as is, the triple damage on E-ring is that going to be crazy. I'm going to have like no mana. I'm going to pop it on and it'll be gone after like 1 second. It's yeah, not a huge fan. And it seems weird that they are doing like the opposite with the barrier. I don't know. Monk needs a Tamo Vita. Yikes. I don't want a Tamo Vita. Nasty, nasty spell. Don't like it. By the way, all my knowledge how to play Monk is from your YouTube videos. Cool. Awesome. No problem. Whoop. Let me actually pay attention a little bit. This place is pretty easy at this level, but it's still not like I can be super careless. Hello, Q, Shema. EK doesn't come close to Paladin and Monk for solo hunts, right? On quite low levels, the EK is pretty close. And there are still a few spots where it does come close. Like, for example, EK at Nokratu Fortress is very, very good. When EK can start really going to Nokratu Fortress and hunt there properly, it's very, very good. Around like level 7, 800 or so, it's very, very good. But, you know, it's only a couple of spots. And also at like level 200, you know, EK also can go to Grim Reapers and probably do even better than a Monk. So there are some places and some levels where the EK is, you know, better or at least like similar. But on the whole, on average, then yeah, Paladin and Monk will be better. We'll go to sleep. All right. Bye-bye. Poopo man. See you next time. Bye. I wouldn't be surprised if they just add Tamo Vita for RPs and EMs, but not Tamo pots. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they'll just stick to this change. I think they may change the scaling from the 3x potentially to like 2x, or maybe just for the monks, because monks have less mana than paladins, so it's even worse of a nerf for monks. So I could see them either changing the 3x multiplier to just 2x multiplier across the board, or changing it to 2x just for monks only. We'll see. I do think Paladin is a little too tanky in the current setup with 20,000 health, 20,000 mana, plus the energy ring, plus the cupcakes, plus all the gen food. There's a little too much in there, and I understand why Tipsoft doesn't quite like how it's used right now. How much did it cost for T2 claw and T2 legs? Level up. Honestly, I don't know. I was just doing it in convergence. So I just used convergence fusion. So it's basically just the cost of convergence plus the cost of making the base feeder items. I don't know. It wasn't. I don't remember from the top of my head, but it's nothing like crazy. Tier 2 legs and tier 3 weapon are not like insane territory for cost. Why don't you get Crypt Strike? I had Crypt Strike. I sold it a few weeks ago because of the reason that I'm not planning to play the Monk after the rebalance. And I think that the Crypt Strike will be dropping in price over time. So it was just a financial decision. I've sold it. And if I play the Monk again, in a year or two, I'm just going to buy Crypt Strike back. That's all. I think it's a great weapon. I just, it's not financially wise decision to hold on to it when I'm not playing the character. Do you manage 12 buttons with your thumb? Yep. I manage 12 buttons with my right hand thumb. And then on my left hand, I mostly use WASD and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F, R, T, C, V, those kind of hotkeys. Yeah, that's basically my whole setup. Excited for the test? Oh, bro, I'm going to take time off work. We'll be there. We'll be there on the day the test server launches. Very excited. Claw I can buy for 10.5k TC right now, and I'm not sure if it's making sense. You just have to run the numbers. I don't know. The T3 Claw will basically be the cost of T0, T1, T2 convergence plus 20kk on top of that, or 30kk on top of that. That would be the estimated cost ballpark. So you just need to add it up and figure it out. I don't know if it's worth or not. I don't remember all the expected costs of every single T-ring. 10k TC, that's 400kk. It seems a little expensive to me, but I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember. Can't wait to see your vids. Oh yeah, all right. No worries. I'll be remaking everything for sure. We're gonna be so the plan will be to make a few test server specific test server based videos, of course, while we going through the test server. At the end of the test server, we'll be making a summary of changes for each vocation. And then after the test server proper, I'll be re-recording some of the guides for whichever vocation it is that I choose to play first. Do you play World of Warcraft 2? Nope. I've played it a little bit in the past, of course, at some point. Did some raiding with some of my university friends when I was at university, 10 years ago. But I've never been much of a World of Warcraft addict. I missed the vanilla retail experience. I didn't start playing WoW until few expansions in, and at that point, I think the magic of it was gone largely. Right? It's kind of like starting to play Tibia, after 15 years that it's been out on the market. Right? It's not the same. If you'll need Crypt Strike on test server, I can lend you. Ooh. Yeah, I didn't really think about it. Yeah, maybe that might be helpful. That might be helpful. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing all that much hunting. It'll mostly be analysis of the changes and stuff. I'll probably do a little bit of hunting. But yeah, okay, all right. Thanks. Might be useful. There's not going to be any new respawns or anything, right? So Not sure if it's going to be all that important to be doing tons of hunting. We'll see. Yo, typically, how long is a test serve after the initial character save? Does anyone know? It's going to be either 1 week or 2 weeks later. It's going to be either the 28th of April, if you're feeling optimistic, or it's going to be like the 5th of May, if you're feeling a little bit pessimistic. It's not going to be later than that. Do you play League of Legends? I used to. I used to play a lot of League of Legends. It's pretty good too, but again, I finished university and then it was like, well, I didn't have enough time to continue playing it enough to be competitive. So I kind of over time stopped playing. AD carry? No, I was a top laner. Singed was my my main character. It would always be banned when we played like offline tournaments. That was like my go-to character, and whenever I got it, I would always run over the enemy team. Yeah, I was primarily a top laner. Can you explain how physical penetration and holy piercing works? I have a crit bow and I'm still comparing. So physical penetration, you mean armor penetration, right? Armor penetration just ignores a percentage of the armor. It's very, very simple. If the enemy has 100 armor and you have 60% armor penetration, then the enemy acts as if it has 40 armor, right? Instead of 100, because you removed 60 of it. Very, very simple. And basically that means they're going to be taking 60 more physical damage per attack. The pierce just increases the weakness of the enemy to that elemental damage. So if you have 10% elemental pierce, it's going to increase the sensitivity to the element by 10% if the element is below 100%. So if an enemy is 80% strong to holy and you have 10% holy pierce, then that enemy will end up being 90% to holy. But if it's above 100%, then that value is halved. So if you have an enemy that is 100% to holy and you have 10% holy pierce, then that enemy becomes 105% weak to holy. Okay. So 60 armor is 45 damage on average. Is that right? Oh, right. It's the range. Okay. True. Yeah, true, Antara. Yep. Yes. I knew this. I just forgot. Yeah, you're right. It's got a roll. Right. Of course. Fact checked. Hey, Veneto. I can't see them doing it before a double event. Historically, they don't care. Plenty of test servers launched immediately before a double event. So that is not a consideration. The consideration whether it's going to be the 28th of April or 5th of May, all it depends on is if they're ready. If they're ready for the 28th of April, they'll do it on 28th of April. If they're not ready for 28th of April, they won't do it. And the double event in May has zero impact on it. Tibia trade needs a webhook which could be thrown into Discord channels. Okay, that's random. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, you can. I guess you can message the admin. Sure. I guess I see what you mean, right? In like Tibia trade, you just share a little link there, and it's got like a little graphic or whatever. Sure, I can see that. I guess that's a feature request for Tibia trade dudes. I guess you can find the admin. Yeah. No, of course. You coming back with some EK guides? I will be when it's time. Look, there's going to be so much to do, right? And so much to remake. I'm looking forward to playing the EK for sure. I don't think it's going to be the first character I do run after the rebalance. But when I do, then of course we're going to remake everything for the EK. And yeah, we'll probably push it to, level 600 plus at least. Personally, I'd love it sooner than May 5th. Yeah, me too. Of course. At this point, I want it today. You know, at this point, I want it 2 months ago. All right. Yeah, the sooner the better. Also, you know, quite selfishly, I have a week off work from the 25th of May. From the 25th of May that week, I'm gonna be off work. So I really hope that the rebalance is actually live on, you know, retail servers by then. And the earlier the test server starts, the higher the likelihood that it will release by the 25th of May, right? So selfishly, I just want it to be live then, because then I would have like that first week of rebalance potentially, you know, at home streaming, having fun. So fingers crossed. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when they do it. I'm hoping for the 28th. I'm hoping for the 28th, maybe even 29th, depending whenever they're ready, right? We'll see. Impossible to predict, really. Do you think that shielding is going to matter more after the rebalance? Sounds like it. It sounds like it. We're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, it definitely will matter more. They already basically said that it's gonna be included in other calculations. Like it's gonna the healing is gonna scale with shielding, right? I think. Of course, it's gonna matter more. I'm looking forward to seeing the new spells from the EK, because those may also scale with shielding somehow. So we're gonna have to wait and see those as well. Yes, after the rebalance, I'm basically planning to start more or less from scratch. Not like super scratch. Like I have like a level 60, level 50, level 90, sort of like a little bit pre-skilled. You know, they're not going to have like 120 magic and 120 skill, but they will have like, you know, 100 sword fighting, 105 distance, 80 magic level. You know, these kind of characters I have ready to basically start from scratch. Yeah, that's the plan. Is it possible to hunt level 300 monk with bis items on Nagas post all nerfs? Possible, yes. Good and safe, probably not. I feel like you'd need a combat prey or two, probably like one death prey maybe, or damage prey. I think it'd be pretty hard, but I think it's possible, but it would be pretty hard. Wild to me that they're not merging skills on EK. I feel like the ship has sailed on that one too long ago. The problem is that they would just feel it like there's just too much of a waste of resources invested into the game, because now they're like, oh, we have all these weapons, all these axes, swords, and clubs, and you know, if they merge them, no, half of these would be useless and wasted, right? Tipsov doesn't like throwing away content. What am I going to play? That remains to be seen on the test server. Probably Sorcerer. Right now, it looks like Sorcerer, but we do need to wait for the test server to finish before I fully decide what I'm going to play with first. Which weapon is best or will be best for after rebalance for EK? Rebalance has absolutely zero impact on which weapon is going to be best or not, because they're not going to be changing any items. I'm, you know, almost certain. Right now, I mean, sword is the strongest, club is the cheapest, and axe is in between. I would just go for sword right now, but of course that can change with every update. Split skills even more. One-handed clubs, two-handed clubs. I feel like they yeah, like if Tipsoft really thought it through like 20 years ago, they should have split them into distinct categories, you know, like sword could be more of like a tanky EK, you know, classic full plate mail type EK. Axe users could be like two-handed sort of crazy barbarians. Club users could be like hard-hitting, slow, you know, giga tanks or something. I don't know. I feel like they could have made them more distinct. Right now, it doesn't really matter, right? There's no distinction. They just got slight variation in elemental types. And that's it. It's pretty boring, to be honest, but I think it's too late. I think it's too late to be changing that significantly. How's the bounty looking? Almost finished. All right. Oh, my boosters run out. I should have boosted. Fuck. It was run out like 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago even. Ah, never mind. What about RP runes range? Will it make a difference? So I don't think. I think in an ideal world, you don't want to be using runes after the rebalance. You know, you'll still carry some, but in the same way that an EK carries runes today, right? You don't plan to like hunt with them. You want some to like finish off some monsters or whatever while kiting. But I think primarily after the rebalance, the idea is that most vocations will not be using runes as part of like their regular rotation. With the new spells the paladin is getting, hopefully no more rune usage. With the elemental affinities that an MS is getting, again, I would hope that MS doesn't really have to use runes anymore. Druid is the tricky one. Like, Druid is the one that I don't really see that they're getting enough tools not to use runes. So Druid may be like the last vocation. If it's not changed much more, then Druid may be like the last vocation that will be using runes a lot. We'll see. Well, we don't fully know yet, Sentry. We need to see. Like, the spells for the Paladin look like they're going to be 2 new AoE spells that do physical and holy damage. Now, what size and damage they're going to do, we don't know. We don't know what cooldowns they're going to be. We don't know if they're going to be exclusive from the wheel or what. We're just going to have to wait and see, okay? But I do get the sense that they are intended to replace rune usage. And I sure hope so, because I don't like using runes. Would you recommend Monk if I want to return to Tibia after 16 years? Yes, although I would say that after the rebalance, you know, EK will be the best one for like returning players because it's going to be the simplest and comfiest vocation. Right now, Monk is absolutely up there in being a good vocation for returning players. But after the rebalance, you know, in a month or so, I would say EK is the best one for that. The bow proficiency for runes will become useless, or they'll change it. It's, you know, it's not that it's going to become useless. Like I say, you still probably will be using some runes, but yeah, they may change it, right? They may tweak it to something else. It remains to be seen, dude. It remains to be seen. I don't know. I sure hope that I don't have to use runes on paladins anymore. The blocking with the arrows and stuff, hate it. I hate it. So again, if you can pick only one, Nagatanko or X-Robe, I would choose X-Robe. There's a reason why it's more expensive. I had both when I was leveling my monk, and I used X-Robe like 10 times as much as the Nagatanko. As an EK, I'm not overly excited how brain my gameplay is about to become, even though it already has. Well, that's very dependent on the new spells, right? You are getting like the shield bash or whatever, and like another spell. Those spells may be what provides the what provides you the skill expression, right? As an EK, we'll see. Monk is so complicated for me. I just got skilled low level and everything is different. Yeah, it's new, right? I mean, it's a new vocation after 30 years. So of course, if you're used to playing the other vocations for like 20 odd years, then it looks different. But it's honestly, if you play it for quite a bit, it's not. It feels natural after a little while. Anyway, finish the bounty. Let's see. See if we get another one here. That would be nice. And Falcons is nice if it's free. I wouldn't mind getting Falcons. And in fact, we're in Zawa already. Maybe we can literally just run out from here and run straight to Falcon Castle and see if it's free. Falcons are quite popular on this server though, so it may be taken. Let's go check. Still Ascetic is the go-to for solo hunting until you can unlock T2 chain penance in the wheel at like level 700 plus. Then yes. Until then, Ascetic is the go-to. After 3 years, I sold my RP and now playing Monk. Difference is huge in gameplay. Gameplay is real pleasure. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. And I fully agree. I really enjoy the monk gameplay. Is when can you leave that castle this way? Since the day Zao was released about 15 years ago. No screenshot on Discord, so maybe free. Eagle, 11 till 12. Nope, not free. Oh, god damn it. All right. No Falcons. Ticket to Bravoria. Bravoria, here I come. Let's roll. War Dragon. Nogferatu. Ooh. I wouldn't mind some Nogferatus for a change. Actually. I guess I can cube out and check it real quick. Let's check Nogferatu. If Nogferatu is taken, then we'll be going back to Nemisats after. Could do Castle and the Little Underpath. Could do, but I don't care enough. I mean, I'm not desperate to go Falcons, you know? If Eagle was free, I would have gone, but I'm not that desperate. Let me pick up some more spirit potions just in case. Hey, Kim. I have a feeling that in yesterday's patch they fixed preferred list and tasks to be more taken into consideration. Well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't hunted enough to really be able to tell. And I don't think so though. I think they would have said something. I don't think that would have been a change that they would just ninja fix and not say anything. Mr. Beaver, tell me, what spell for single target rotation you use on your monk? So I use Forceful Uppercut as the opener, the 40-second cooldown. The fact that it's blood, by the way, probably means it's taken, but anyway. And then in my single target multi-action, I use like Chain Penance, Greater Flurry of Blows, and Mystic Repulse. East, West, Castle. Okay, Castle's free. All right, so we'll do some Norks. It's been a while since I hunted here. Yeah, it has been a while, so. But let's do it. I had about 1.6 KK profit in 45 minutes at Nemisats. Okay, not bad. This Dragolisk, I guess I'll roll off of it now. See if I get anything else. Quara Raider. Still got to go Quaras at some point. Yeah, but I don't have anything. No Norks. No charms on them either. I feel like I want charms on them. Overpower. I'm not going to be going, what do I take? I want to keep my low blow, savage blow, and parry on Nemisats because I really like it there. But then I really want low blow and savage blow for Norks as well. Let me... How much health do they have? 5.7k. It's so little. Earth 110. 6.1. So this one has a little more. Freeze. Okay, I'll put freeze on this one then. And I'll put overpower on the other one. All right. It's something. Yeah, my user. Do you remember the bounty task points per hour breakdown you did? Bounty task points per hour? I'm not sure what you mean exactly, Kim. I'm not sure what you mean. The bounty task points per hour breakdown. I have a tracker, right? I have the tracker where I have kills per hour, and then you can kind of figure it out from there. But I don't think I have a bounty task points per hour. I don't quite know what you mean there. Which creatures do you have on preferred? I have the double Nimisat, the Nork, and Hellfire Fighter. Probably here I can put the other Nork now, maybe. I removed the Hand of Cursed Fate from here yesterday because I finished the bestiary, and I have Hellfire Fighter because I want to do the bestiary as well. I use one of the slots always to at least increase my odds of some bestiary places that I want to do. Points per hour. Remember, you did a test of which difficulty was best to farm points. Oh, that wasn't a proper test. I just think I just did it on like rapid respawn. I did adept versus beginner, and maybe I was doing like some master versus expert at some. I didn't have any like significant test in there, Kim. Not. I don't have anything that you could find. Don't forget to charm that tarantula, bro. Yeah. Get a minor charm on it. Like people used to put minor charms on like fire elementals on like Ferryway, right? Yeah, I guess it's something hyper optimized. I guess we can go. All right. Reset the analyzer, I guess. You have two builder multi actions. Yeah. I kind of hate that you can't just have one single multi action for that includes uppercut, right? It's annoying. The uppercut cooldown is annoying. I really wish they made it shorter. Oh, medium lag 358 ms. What's that about? That was weird. Weird lag spike. Anyway. I hate you can't have multi-action for rings like Dwarven Ring and Club Ring or something. I hate that. What I don't like is that you can't, that it doesn't take into account like food cooldowns. Like I would really like to have a multi-action for like a rotworm stew, and like a strawberry cupcake and stuff, right? But you can't. This only works if you only have one of each in your backpack, but then that's risky by itself. You know, because it keeps trying to use it as part of the multi-action, and then it just tells you that it's on cooldown, right? Because it's not that same type of cooldown that all the item cooldowns have, right? Would have been really nice if that worked. We need full equipment setups on action bars. That yes, loadouts, right? Equipment loadouts. I would definitely really like that as well. Especially for mages. I don't find equipment management too annoying or on paladins, monks, and EKs. I find it extremely annoying on mages. Mages have feels like have way more relevant items. Triple sneeze. Yep. Managed to mute myself in time. Yes, I'm a triple sneezer. It's really been a while since I hunted here. Good place, though. Probably slightly better experience than Nemisats. But they're pretty close these days. Ability to lock items. You can't sell them, drop them, or move them would be useful. I don't know. I mean, at least I don't really see a use case. I don't really have that problem. I'm sure you have your reasons for wanting that, but I don't know. Never been much of an issue for me. I mean, the niche, like on a lower level, right? Accidentally selling like a Zarwan helmet with a full powerful void or something. Of course, annoying, but I don't know. Kind of have to watch out. Good place to have an avatar proc, actually. Let's see if I can get a spender off. Ah, I didn't get a spender off in time. Too bad. Remember seeing some really old clip back when Mycological Bow was one of the best bows in the game. Don't accidentally sold it to Rashid. I mean, even back then, it couldn't have been worth that much, right? Even if it was like 1KK, you know, still not the end of the world. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. It's one of those problems. Like, yeah, I guess every item could have like a little lock icon on top, right? You could probably wouldn't be that hard to implement, but is it really that important? Horn ring to Rashid. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what we mean by equipment loadouts, right? That's exactly what I'd want blocking Taco. Like I want an equipment loadout primarily for majors for me. I think on non-majors, you often just equip your best item. Like will be some niche places, right? Where, you know, if you go in Ice Library, you may go for your Frost Flower boots over Spirit Walkers or Spirit Soul Walkers. That's what they're called, right? The EK ones. God, I don't even remember. Soul Walkers? No, those are the Paladin ones, no? No, those are Soul Stalkers. Jesus. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, sure. Yeah, loadouts would be really good. That is one of my number one feature requests for when I play mages. That's something I really dislike about playing a mage, because my hotkey bar just gets full of garbage items, and then it takes forever to like find the one I want. It's probably just, you know, skill issue and hotkey bar management, but yeah, don't like it. What do you think about charms rebalancing at Paladin after the update? Will it make sense to use low Savage Blow if they want to change AA mechanism? What do you mean by changing AA mechanism? I don't think they change an AA mechanism, right? I do think that there is a chance that So look, low blow and Savage Blow scale with a spell's damage, and elemental charms scale with, you know, the spells or runes area of effect, right? If the new spells for Paladin like hit, you know, say 5 targets, but they are very, very, very powerful, like the base damage is very high, then low blow and savage blow would be very, very good. But we don't know, right? We don't know what it's going to be like. We don't yet know the new spells, area of effect, and stuff. But yes, generally speaking, with the changes to the area of runes going down, elemental charms are losing a little bit of value, because runes in general, right, they're going to be stronger but fewer targets. So just straight away, that does scream, you know, crit charms are going to be relatively better than they were before when it comes to using runes. Those all the new spells that we get in, yeah, I do think there's a chance that low blow and savage blow will end up being a lot better than they are now. I mean, they're already very good, at least for EKs and monks, but chances are they will also be very good for other vocations now. But we're going to have to evaluate it once we have a little bit more information. Hey man, it's Krogan from Kick. Hello, Kyle. There you go. See, now I know you're not Polish, because with a name like Kyle, clearly not Polish. There we go. Do you think they will nerf EK's damage and buff its sustain? I don't think they're going to nerf the damage. I don't think they're going to nerf the damage. I don't think that would be received very well. I think they'll improve the sustain and probably not touch the damage very much. Maybe the new spells will do a little bit more damage. We'll see. And I don't think very many people think the EK is too strong now. Increases auto attack damage doubled against non-adjacent targets. Okay. Blocking Taco, you have fallen victim to reading with understanding. And trust me, you're not the first. There's probably like 10 people who've made the same mistake. It's not doubling your auto attack to non-adjacent creatures. It's doubling the bonus. And the bonus is probably going to be like 5%. So you'll probably, if in that stance, you'll probably do like 5% more damage by default and double that. So 10% more damage against non-adjacent creatures. So it's definitely not doubling your auto attack. Don't worry. That would be quite a change. Curious why Tipsoft is not doing anything with merchants. There is 1,000 NPCs. Everyone's buying different items. It's so annoying. They should make it more compact. I don't know. I think there's a bit of a flavor to it, especially with the market. You know, if you don't want to faff around, you can just list stuff on the market, and market bots will buy it out and sell it for you. I don't think this is like a major issue, especially with like Yasir in the game and Augustin in Bunak. Honestly, the whole NPC run is not that bad. You go Rashid, you go Yasir, you go Augustin and Bunak. Maybe a Jin run if you want, or just list the stuff on the market. Not that bad, I think. Do I think solo RP will be worse after the rebalance? I don't think so. I think primarily high-level team hunting paladins are going to be a lot worse. That's the main target of the changes, and I think they will be worse. So people like Mazarin and Valor, I don't know any more high-level paladins. Those are the guys who will probably be significantly weaker after the rebalance, right? Question about Knights after rebalance. When you are in Blood Rage stance, monsters who do skill debuffs, will you have to reapply the stance? You're going to have to use a potion, Berserker potion, just like everybody else. This is how other vocations deal with it now. If a monk gets debuffed, I have to pop a Transcendence potion. If a paladin gets debuffed, he has to use a Bullseye potion. If an EK gets debuffed after the rebalance, you'll have to pop a Berserker potion. Welcome to the real world. AA will not trigger charms at AoE level. Yep. That is, of course, the main nerf to charms, right, when it comes to Paladin. Plus, the runes, lower area of effect. Also, fewer targets to proc with runes. Yeah, of course. That's, massive, big density, high health hunts is what's going to suffer for Paladins. I.e., Soul War and up team hunting is going to suffer primarily. I don't think solo hunted Paladins will suffer all that much. If you're just hunting your Roshamur West or your Flimsies or your Asura Mirror or whatever, I don't think Paladin will be nerfed at all. Mazarin and Norks will be strong. Yes, 20 KK raw. Well, the difference between Virtue of Justice and Utito is that Utito also comes with the drawback of more damage taken, right? So it's not one for one the same as monks, right? The monk doesn't have the increased damage taken part of Utito. There is stance for 20% more damage now. You misunderstood the changes. So when they talk about 20, so okay, when Tipsoft mentions the 20% more damage, when they were talking about the stances and the EK, they were talking about the current stances of offensive, balanced, and defensive mode. You know, the thing you have on the top right of your by your equipment. And they use the balanced mode as the default. That's like the default in Tipsoft's eyes. And that one is 100%. Offensive stance is 120 and defensive is 80%. So when they were saying that you're going to have by default 20% more damage on the EK, what they meant is that the offensive stance is going to be the new default. So if you are already using the offensive stance today as an EK, you won't get any buff. If you were hunting on balanced stance for some reason, then you will be receiving that extra 20% damage, right? But I hope you're not hunting on balanced. No more debuff removal with Tito. Most of classes don't fight in boxes. Sneak against kill debuff. Okay, then you're just gonna have to keep track of it. I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, you're just not used to it because you never had to do it. But it's part of the game to be able to cancel out the debuff with a potion. And yeah, you can make an argument that it's like a mini nerf, but ultimately it's a buff because you can actually just use the potions now. Previously, you couldn't use the potions because the potion would cancel your Utito or not stack with your Utito. Now you're going to go Utito plus potion. Every EK will basically have what does the Berserker potion give? Six skill? You're basically going to gain 6 skills permanently through this change because you can actually use the Berserker potions after the update. So don't act like it's a massive nerf because it's not. It's actually a huge buff overall. Now being able to use Berserker potions. Oh. Paladins are getting new AoE spells, indeed, but yeah, hard to evaluate because we know jack shit about them at this point, right? We don't know anything, don't know the cooldown, don't know the power level, don't know the area of effect. I hope they're good. I hope they allow us to skip runes altogether, but basically can't say anything else, right? You think I can use Zao Legs T2 until level 500? Sure. I mean, that is, yeah, their monk legs are a little awkward. They're in a very awkward place. Honestly, like the progression is like ideal progression is like dwarven legs into mutated hide trousers into sanguine trousers. But if you can't get the mutated hide trousers, which on a lot of servers is very hard because of how rarely people kill the monster, then yeah, I mean, yeah, T2 Zao legs or, you know, T2 dwarven legs or something. Totally okay until level 500, yeah. In that case, I'm emptying whole market out of EK's potion. Yeah, there's probably money to be made on like day 1, day 2 after the rebalance because yeah, probably, you know, the EKs who are not following the update very much will wake up after the rebalance and they'll be like, oh shit, yeah, oh great, I can use Berserker potions now, and they will want to buy them. And there won't be any on the market, right? Or they'll have to overpay. But in the long run, you know, for the next 6 months or whatever, the prices will stabilize, right? The prices will definitely stabilize, and they'll still end up being like 500 gold each, just like all the other potions are. They drop too often from too many bosses for them to ever like long term be much more than NPC price. Will you show me your wheel so I can take a picture? Sure. There you go. It's basically T2 chain plus a little bit of extra points into a gem here in the bottom right. Will a paladin at around my level do similar EXP here? Similar to what I'm doing now, yes. Probably not similar to the peak possible. Like if I was focusing here, really focusing, I could probably do like 8.5 KK raw. I don't think a paladin could do 8.5 KK raw, but I do think a paladin can do what I'm doing now, which is 7.7. I think so. Just logged on and bought a bunch of Berserker potions. Ah. Calm down, Elon Musk. Oh, no, not Elon Musk. Let's call you Warren Buffett. There you go. What a smart investor. There you go. Gonna make bank on those. I get it, but some places will just become much harder on huntable. Like mages don't hunt spawns with magic debuff. Sure, there will be, but like, I mean, you still only cast Utito generally like every 8 seconds. You still had that issue. Like you still would have. I don't know. I kind of don't see your argument. Like, of course, it's uncomfortable to hunt places which have debuffs, but it was uncomfortable to hunt places which have debuffs even with the current Utito. You still have to cast it all the time. And right now, you just have to cast Utito, and waste like 200 mana every 2 seconds to cast it. Whereas, you know, after the rebalance, you'll just pop a 400 GP potion, no mana cost. I don't know. I still prefer. If you ask me, I would prefer to cancel a skill debuff with a potion as compared to Utito. Utito also clashed with like Exeter, so you couldn't even use another support cooldown. I don't know, dude. I think you're just complaining because you're not used to using potions. I think it's the better way of dealing with debuffs. And now, you know, previously EK couldn't do it because then you'd be giving up your Utito buff, which obviously is huge. But I don't know. I think you'll get used to it, and it's better. Hello, Chorne. Hello. Just check secure, and someone just bought all Berserker potions. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hey, Mashvino. Jinky. Jinky. 58,000 Transcendence potions below NPC price on Secure Market. Lovely. Yeah, like that's the thing, you know. There is some money to be made on like day 1, day 2, I think, because yeah, a bunch of EKs will just log in and decide that they want to buy 500 Berserker potion supply, and there just won't be enough on the market to support that on day 1, day 2. So there's some profit to be made, but long term, obviously, it won't. It's not an infinite money glitch type of deal, you know. But how much is solo EK worse than team EK, or at least duo? I mean, duo is not very popular these days. I don't know if it's worse than a duo at all. I feel like on almost every vocation, you can do better solo results than you can in duos. And team hunts, I don't know. Just like every other vocation as well, like team hunts are usually 30 to 50% better than solo hunting for like peak spots. So probably around that. But I don't think that's necessarily much to do with solo EK. It's the same for basically every vocation. Team hunts are just very good. I have a question about boots. Soul Souls is worth to buy or better to run with X? I think the best boots for the monk right now are probably the stag boots with the death protection and the bonus for spiritual outburst. I use Soul Souls because I have them and I bought them before the stag foot wraps were added to the game. So, and the difference is small. Like the difference between the stag foot wraps and the Soul Souls is pretty small. The Soul Souls are better if you're going to be hunting a lot of ice respawns. Obviously, it's going to be better, but on the whole, on average, I'd rather have that extra death damage protection. Well, I guess you're gonna have to wait and see Invoker. I mean, I've played enough at respawns where there's a skill debuff on both EK and on Monk. For example, Fury Ormond Cave, and undoubtedly I prefer canceling the debuff with a potion. So I guess you'll just have to get used to it, because I don't think this is changing. I think this is a change that will almost certainly stay as is. So you'll just have to get used to it. And ultimately, it's a buff to the EK, because at the end of the day, majority of respawns do not have a skill debuff. And for those respawns, it's just a straight up massive buff, being able to use the Berserker Potion when previously you couldn't. So I don't think that's changing. I bought both, but I must sell one pair and make cash for Crypt Strike. Well, you asked about X, right? You asked about X anyway. You asked about X, not the Stag. The X foot wraps are good as well, but they're a little bit more niche. Like the X foot wraps are only really good if you like hunting something very, very easy, right? If you're really hunting something where you don't care about defense at all, then you can go for X foot wraps. But, you know, that's kind of niche. Generally, you do care at least somewhat about defense. And for those respawns between Soul Souls and the Stag foot wraps. And yeah, I think generally Stag foot wraps. If you're going to have one pair of boots in the game, I would go for Stag foot wraps. Yeah, there you go. That's my opinion. The Soul Souls are okay, but I always complain that the Soul Souls are probably like the worst item the monk has in the best in slot, and I stand by that. I don't like them. I hope they give us a proper honest to God boot at some point, because right now there is no way I would ever tier any of the monk boots. They're just not good enough. Same with the armor, to be honest. The soul garb also not very good. So until they give us some solid alternatives, I'm not going to be tiering those. But imbue on armor, I'm not really hunting anything that requires it at this point. I like to keep the imbue open until I need it, just so that if I do go somewhere where I need it, I don't need to remove an imbue. So, for example, when I was hunting Ingle or Rawbritters, I would have an energy imbue protection, of course. But I'm hunting Dragalisks or Norks. It's not really something I need to do. I spent 250 KK on tier 1 X boots. It's a decision. Can't say I'd be making that decision, but hey, you've got a good pair of X boots, that's for sure. Why the angry emoji? Why the angry emoji? The price. Yeah, it seems kind of steep. T1, yeah, kind of steep that, but yeah, multiple boots. I'm not about that. And this is also the reason why I don't really like mages, right? And the crazy amount of equipment that they have. It's a little much. Mages have tons of like tiered items as well, right? At least EKs and paladins and monks, ignoring the weapons. Ignoring the weapons, largely you don't need to tier that many different pieces of equipment. For mages, it feels like you have 3 different best in slot items for every slot, right? Is there any update video for virtues? No. And anyway, that's going to be changing massively, right? My expectation is that it's going to be Virtue of Justice for team hunting, definitely. And hopefully they give a little extra boost to Virtue of Harmony. And then Harmony is going to be the solo hunting virtue. That would make it so clear. I would really like that, but we'll have to see. I think they're kind of close to 900-ish already. And that's while really not playing all that much for the past few months. I could have easily been... honestly, if I played Monk like pretty exclusively and focusing on experience since it released, I would have been over 1,000 by now. No problem. But I had so many like breaks and not focusing on experience that, I'm still fairly far away. Best open yellow server. I mean, there's only one true open yellow server. No? We all know which one that is. The original One and only. Can I EXP here on 620 with the same equipment like you? Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, this. You don't need the chain in the wheel. Yeah, for sure. You can hunt here even earlier. People hunt here with like Cobra Bow and like level 500 and stuff. It's obviously going to be a little bit harder. But yeah, on 600 with Sanguine Claws, no problem. I failed tearing my boots 4 times. The 5th time would have worked, dude. The 5th time would have worked. No doubt. Good morning. Good morning. Azarus, good morning. Hi, Kuznia. Thanks for perfect Tibia content. Can you share your current wheel and which harmony you often use? So right now I'm using a tier 2 chained penance wheel. So like the spiritual outburst quadrant with the chained penance from the lower left quadrant, because the 18% base damage for chained penance is the strongest perk in the wheel at the moment. So I use that one. For the virtue, I'm actually using Virtue of Justice. But right now, Virtue of Justice versus Virtue of Harmony, like there is nothing in there. They are basically more or less the same. Some people prefer one, some people prefer the other, but seemingly the results are more or less the same. So right now, I wouldn't worry about the virtues. Either is fine. After the rebalance, we're going to revisit this topic, but we need to see what changes are going to happen on the test server in addition to what they already announced. Med Eco now healed debuff status? That wouldn't be very fair now, would it? Why don't they give Spirit Mend an ability to heal the debuffs? I don't think that's fair. I don't... the monk doesn't have any way to cleanse debuffs other than using a potion. Why is EK supposed to be the special little boy who gets a way to remove debuffs like that, huh? That's not fair. Paladin's gonna get it. Paladin's gonna get a nice way to remove debuffs. Have you not learned after all these years? It's the Paladin who gets the nice toys. Best open yellow server has to be Premier. Best if I don't speak. Best if I don't speak. Hey, Skinny. Why Monk is special little guy with mantra? That's a new vocation, all right? Mirade plays RP. Yeah, there you go. Always good to be RP. EK usually can remove debuff, so it's keeping the ability, not gain a new one. I don't know if I buy that logic. I don't think the skill debuff removal via Utito is like some core identity of the EK. It's just an accidental part of the design. I don't think that's something that needs to be preserved. Which vocation are we looking most forward to play after the rebalance? For me, is the Sorcerer. Based on the existing changes, it's the Sorcerer. I do think Druid has potential if they tweak it a little bit more, depending on how the forks function. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the Druid works, but I do think it's probably not going to be enough to make him that fun for solo. Yep. I mean, yep. So I agreed that low-level Paladin is hell. Like, low-level Paladin is really, really bad. And it's a real grind to get out of that low-level area to, like, level 500. And then it obviously opens up a lot. But I think they are planning to address that somewhat, right? They're going to have, like, these weaker diamond arrows, probably cheaper as well. So it's going to be easier to progress. And the elemental diamond arrows and stuff. I don't know. I think maybe low-level... Paladin's going to be a bit better. as well after the rebalance and not so expensive. We'll see. What excites you the most about sorcerer changes? Well, the elemental affinities. Just being able to like use spells non-stop will be very, very good. I hope and also the beam mastery, like making the beam free SQM is also very good. Like that I'm really looking forward to. I think, yeah, the beams, the death beam and the great energy beam when they're free SQM wide, gonna be pretty poggies. Yeah, definitely looking forward to playing MS with that. Shame that it needs level 300. That's definitely going to be one of my pieces of feedback. I think it's probably not going to be listened to, but I think that they should make the beams free SQM by default. They shouldn't be making free SQM beams locked behind a revelation perk. I think nobody uses the beams, which means that locking it behind a revelation perk to be usable, I don't think that's good design. I think they should be usable by default, by being free SQM by default. And then the revelation perk, you know, can actually just make them a lot stronger, like extra damage, reduce cooldown, whatever, right? But I don't think functional stuff and improvements, like making them free SQM, should be hidden behind the wheel, personally. They're also increasing mass sands base damage to both low levels. Yeah, so maybe you know the target probably is to bring Paladin more in line with other vocations, right? Weaker late game, but stronger early game. I think that's fair. Justice is better here than the Harmony. I don't know. Like honestly, it really doesn't make much difference. Like, I've tested a lot different virtues on this patch, and I just almost never get any difference between Harmony and Justice. Like not enough to attribute to the Harmony. Like it'll be like 100k this way, 100k that way. I just don't care at this point. I just go Justice because that one gives you more leech, right? That one just leeches a bit more, so the sustain is a little bit better. So I just stick with Justice. But I really don't think there's much in it. Weakened Mazarin and buffed Skinny. Exactly, it's what we need. That's what we need. Everywhere I look on YouTube, sorcerers and even druids are grinding great EXP and incredible profit on something like Ingo. Well, you've kind of just chosen the one go-to respawn in the game where the mages actually do really well. There's really not that many more than just Ingo. So, you know, if you want to hunt the same spot for 500 levels, yeah, sure, mages solo, pretty good. But I don't think that's a very healthy situation. Do you think the nerf to runes will have a relevant impact in such spots? Of course. In Ingle, it will have a massive impact. Ingle is basically a respawn where you just pull like 50 monsters, you know, I don't know, 30, right? And you just hit as many with the runes. In Ingle, the rune is probably one of the places in the game that's going to be most impacted by runes area change, because the density at Ingle is just crazy, right? Places like Ingle, places like Nimesat are definitely going to be hit heavily by the changes to runes. Places like Ice Library or Fire Library, when you're team hunting, probably not at all, because you never really have such massive wide area where the monsters are. More of a box situation, in which case the rune will probably still be fine. If this Death Blast is shit, then it will be doomed with small. Yeah, I don't think it will be small. I think it'll probably be the size of like a diamond arrow, right? If it's like an 8 SQM blast, then yeah, it's doomed. Then we're not playing sorcerer. That's why I'm reserving my decision of what I'm going to play after the rebalance, right? Because Tipsoft can just still make it shit, right? When do you use USP instead of GMP? When you need it. It's not about a level. It's about the necessity. If you don't need to use it, then don't use it because it's wasteful. But if you go into a really hard respawn... Now, okay, so I use USPs because I'm lazy and I'm streaming. So I don't want to have to worry about it. But generally speaking, you don't want to use USPs at easy spots. Here, I could easily manage with great mana potions, maybe with regular great spirit potions. I use USPs because I'm lazy and I don't want to risk anything while I'm streaming. But yeah, using USPs is relevant when you hunting something difficult. So if you go into Grim Reapers on level 150, I would use USPs. If you go in Barkless Elves on level 150, I would use USPs as well. But if you go in like, I don't know, Bookworld or something at like level 300, then I would just use GMPs, right? Because it's easy. It's all about the difficulty of the respawn relative to your level. 685 KK for extended promotion scroll. Jesus. I'm just going to grind my weeklies. Thank you very much. I'm asked because I saw this as a great nerf to mages. Well, but you know, I don't know what's going to happen to the druid, but the sorcerer is having such massive changes that hopefully the sorcerer will not even want to be using runes, old or new. If the changes that they make are as predicted, then the rune change is basically irrelevant when it comes to the sorcerer, because you're not going to be using runes anyway. That remains to be seen. Is the waste? Yeah, the waste is significant. If you're spamming USPs, the waste is very noticeable, especially on lower levels where you don't profit as much, right? If I'm profiting 3KK per hour, you know, I don't really care about using USPs. But if I'm profiting 300K an hour, then using GMPs over USPs is a significant saving. Using GMPs, yeah. The 13-pointer. What potions and Exura you recommend for DT -2 seal? I would probably. I mean, that's the sort of caliber of place where I would probably just go with USP and Spirit Mend. I don't think I'd be trying to be too cheeky and go with Great Spirits. Just try not to take as much damage. Try to kite a little bit. I know the corridors are quite narrow on DT -2. You still can kite though a bit. Like that, yeah. The biggest saving you're gonna make is taking less damage, right? It doesn't matter if you're using great manas, great spirits, or ultimate spirits. The biggest saving you can make is just not take damage, so you don't need to heal, right? Okay, I'll check it out later. That too. The healing with yeah, that is true. Yeah, you've got this proficiency for the healing, right? Yeah, sure. Which proficiency do I run in the Sanguine Claws? I forgot. Let me have a check. I use the healing one here as well. Okay. I wonder if I should switch from that. 10% extra crit damage. No, probably not. On the Crypt Strike, I use the +1 attack myself. But the healing would be comfy. Maybe it is that. But the thing is, the healing perk is very good when you use Exuric Gran, right? That's the thing. But if you use an Exuric Gran, you probably hunting something fairly easy. And I don't know that DT -2 is easy. Maybe if you've trapped all the health layers, whatever, yeah, then it's easy, right? But generally, yeah, I would use the healing perk if I'm running Exuric Gran somewhere. I think if I'm not using X-Ray Grant, probably would go with the more offensive variant on the Crypt Strike anyway. The Grime Leeches. Okay. You don't like the drunk effect. Yes, fake Polish Veneto, fake Polish. How are we doing with the bounty? Still in over 150. Probably not going to finish it. Probably not going to finish it. Got to go in like 20 minutes. Pretty good progress though. Was this it's just a bronze bounty. Okay. So we've done a silver plus most of a bronze bounty today. A little bit of progress. Don't think I'll get an upgrade to any of my talisman perks. Maybe next time we stream, if we get like a nice gold bounty or something. Oh, someone redeemed the pet the streamer 21 minutes ago. Ah, didn't really see it. I just saw the notification. I hope it worked. I still haven't had a proper confirmation that all the channel stuff and sounds all work. We're gonna do some testing in a minute. It's so funny when this chain hits 2 mobs when you have a full box. Yeah, don't. Oh, here we go. The fart worked. Yeah, I mean the chain is a bit of a liability. I really do wish they. And I mean, every time there's an update, also like the rebalance, I keep begging them to increase the chain jump range, just so it feels better. Like nerf the damage if you must, but make it usable, right? Make it usable. Ah, shit. Today again, going TH Aslan -2. I think for Aslan is like huge boxes, right? Huge. For Aslan, you probably may want to go for sweep and takedown and ascetic focus because it's just huge boxes, right? Outburst is best for like, 7 to 10 monster type pulls. But if you've got 30 monsters on screen, then probably you're going to hit more targets with takedown. I think. Do you think it's possible the test server will come during double weekend? Yes, of course. It's happened many times before. In fact, if I had to guess, I would think it will. I would think 28th or 29th of April is probably the most likely test server date. Of course, they may end up not being ready. They're probably still finishing some stuff, and it may end up being, after the double. But I think there's a good likelihood it will be before the double. And then they are wondering why Monk sucks in Team Hut. Yeah, I don't know why they're so reluctant to increase the jump range of the chain. I don't understand. Like, it's honestly a brainless decision. Like, it's so easy to fix, and it's not going to be like broken. It's just going to be more functional. Like, nerf its damage by like 5-10% if you must, but make it more reliable and functional by having a bigger jump range. I don't believe that like the algorithm is too expensive to run if the jump range is just increased by 1, right? It's bullshit. You just wonder what level would I need to hunt here on my paladin? Probably about 700. Around 700, yeah. You live in Poland, right? I've been there for 1 year, like 10 years ago. Miss it a lot. I do, yeah. I lived in England for many years, but I moved back to Poland a few years ago. Yeah, it's good country. Has its problems like every other country, but ultimately, pretty nice country. Hence why I've stayed now here for quite a while and probably will continue living here. Did they talk about any changes going into the test server, or are we just getting what was talked about on the forum? So look, they published all the changes, asked for feedback, and then they went radio silent for months. And now it's going to be the test server. So I'm assuming there's going to be changes compared to what they shared, months ago. If they just gonna release the test server with what they originally proposed, then I don't know what the fuck they've been doing for the past 3 months. But I think there's going to be changes. Yeah, I think there's going to be changes compared to what they suggested. It's probably going to be similar somewhat, probably pretty similar, but there definitely will be also changes. But we're going to have to wait until the test server to see. They're not going to announce it until the test server. The expectations of Monk on the Team Hunter's experience per hour. That is the only expectation that Tibians have. They don't care about the comfort. They don't care about the fun. They care about the raw experience per hour. And the Monk does not contribute as much to the raw experience per hour as other vocations at the moment. That's it. That's the only thing people care about. Damage numbers are irrelevant, of course. But it's the fact that experience goes down when you've got a Monk in a lot of cases. Not everywhere, of course. Certain places, Monk is great. But the higher level you get, the less great Monk is for team hunting. But that will change when he becomes the ultimate support team hunter, being able to buff everybody. They did say they made changes based on feedback. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what they would have been doing, right? Surely. I haven't gotten any info yet. No, nothing more than what they said in the dev note 2 in like January. Whenever that one was. I care only about mass res. Give me mass res on Monk. Well, didn't they already say that they go into am I tripping, or did they not say that they're gonna remove mass res from like the harmony system, right? So they basically are gonna give you a working mass res now. They said that. Okay. Yeah, I thought they did. Yeah, so, yeah, that's great, right? You can just have a multi-action with Sayo and mass res. Although it depends on what cooldown it'll end up being, because right now it's like an 8-second cooldown. So it may keep it like that. We'll see. With an 8-second cooldown, it's still not really all that reliable, but still better than nothing. I think Team Hunt will be better. I think Team Hunt should be good after the rebalance. Everyone will have a good role. Oh god. Hey, Duży. This place looks so easy on your level. It is. It is. I was doing like 0 supplies here before the last nerf we had a few months ago. And when I hunt here off stream, I also do like almost 0 supply. Like right now, I've used about 700 potions per hour. I can use like 100 or 200 per hour when I'm off stream. So it is a very comfy spot at this level. Do you have charms? Yeah, but suboptimal. I only just put them on. I've got what do I have? I have overpower on Nork. One of the Norks I have overpower, and on the other I have freeze. So obviously they're not that good. I'd rather have low blow and savage blow, but I have those locked for Nimisat, for Dragalisks, and for War Dragons. So I'm using like a really scuffed charm setup here. Almost basically no charms, basically. Not that they matter all that much here. I mean, low blow and savage blow would almost certainly let me have 0 supply here as well. Would definitely help with that. What vocation monk is good to duo hunt? Basically, every vocation can work with the monk. The role of the monk changes based on the vocation, but you can duo with everybody. When I am solo monk, I'm constantly swapping spots, so never on charms. Yeah, I feel that. I spend a very long time doing charms and bounties, so I never had charms either. But you know, we had that road to 1K goal for 2026, and at that point, I locked charms and I locked bounties on Nimisats and Norks. But obviously, that's now gone down the toilet, and we are waiting on rebalance. But yeah, charms of course do help, but it is kind of expensive to be switching them if you're just going somewhere for 1 hour, right? It's not going to be worth it. I'm not going to switch 3 or 4 charms for 1 hour hunt. And I do like switching places as well. I miss when the greater garlic necklaces were like 100k here. That was a lovely profit. Oh well. What are some good hunting spots for duo EK RP? At 210, 150. Oh god, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Banuta, maybe. Oh. Honestly, anywhere that the EK can hunt solo, because there's no healing, so it's a place where EK can hunt solo because he's just healing himself. I don't know. Banuta, maybe Grim Reapers, that kind of stuff, maybe. Not great though. That duo at that level. Got all elemental charms set for TH. Yep. One hour off KS. Oh, dude, Sakura. Even less of a reason to put charms on if you just gain KS, right? What vocation am I going to play after the rebalance? Well, it's going to depend on how the test server goes. So far, the changes to Sorcerer look the most promising and most fun and most exciting. So that's what we'd be going with today. But the test server will change some things for sure. Stop being the KSE. Start being the KS solution. You know it's MS, just admit it publicly. I don't it's not definitely gonna be MS. Like that is what it's looking like right now. But if it turns out that the repeated blast, whatever thing is garbage and small area of effect, plus they don't make any other changes to like the beam mastery that I'd like to see, and maybe they make the druid actually kind of fun, then you know we could go well with druid. It's not set in stone. Like I would say right now it's like 80% that I'm gonna be going sorcerer after the rebalance. But it is only 80%, right? It's not a certainty. We're gonna wait and see how the test server goes. Rebalance copium. I hate the rubber. The rebalance is happening, Mazrez. It's happening. Finally. Finally. The radio silence is over. Now they just need to give it us ASAP. 28th or 29th of April, please. That's what I want. I'm not planning to play the double event anyway, so I'm happy for it to be during the double weekend. People on Antica and Secura may disagree because they probably want to keep the character online for 24 hours, otherwise be stuck in a login queue. But oh well. No, we don't know when the rebalance is going to be yet. There's a test server backup next week, so the rebalance will likely be either in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. Do you have MS? Yeah, I have MSs. Yeah, I have sorcerers ready to go after the rebalance. Oh shit! Hang on. I didn't want to stay here like that. Let me kill off this Varg. Okay, here we go. No second PC. I know, right? Poor players in Antica and Secura. Well, you poor. Just get a second PC for exercise training, dude. Easy. I had trouble sticking to one class in current state. Rebalance just makes things harder. Same, bro. I've never played a character for as long as I've been playing the monk for the past year. It's already my most played consecutive vocation. So yeah, the rebalance will bring a change for sure. All right, how much more of the bounty do we need? Another 50. So it's like what, another 8-10 minutes? All right, fuck it. Maybe we'll finish it. Maybe we'll finish. Maybe we'll finish and then we'll go. Something I wanted to check just because I was messing with the audio tracks. I think it should work, but I was a little disappointed last time that it wasn't working. So maybe you guys can confirm for me that I fixed the audio tracks before I forget. Here we go. Let's replay that one. There we go. Did you hear the Twitch notification, the little sound? I think if I fixed the audio tracks, it should have been okay. Okay, you heard it. All right. All right, good. Bleep. Yeah, okay, good. All right. I fixed the audio track, so we all good. So everyone gets the same feed except YouTube just don't have Spotify. All right. Must be weird just listening to my voice with no music. I hope you people on YouTube are listening to like some other music in the background instead of just listening to me. Well, whatever you like, I guess. My first class like 15 years ago was MS, so maybe it's time to get back to the roots. Yeah, except it's going to be basically nothing like it, right? It's going to be nothing like it. I'm not sure we've ever had such a massive change in playstyle as this rebalance is going to bring. I think diamond arrows were maybe like the single biggest change for playstyle in history. But I think this rebalance is probably even greater change than diamond arrows for paladins. Still no YouTube on stream chat. It looks like there was. There definitely was. Yeah, you're right. Now it's gone. But it definitely was. Why is that gone now? We did have it. We did have it for majority of the stream. We only had it a few minutes ago even. I don't know why it's gone now. Yeah, you're right. God damn it. God damn it, YouTube. Let's make sure I don't die. But let me just check YouTube real quick. I don't know. I don't know why it's not showing. It was showing. There was even a little notification where it was like Botrix has joined the YouTube chat. And that's because that's what uses it to figure out to copy the messages onto the chat. Damn it. Maybe it'll work soon. Maybe next stream. I don't know. Violated Spotify service agreement. No music for everyone. Please no. Now we'll just move on from Spotify to like some radio station. So if you have to guess what's going to change for each vocation, which one will be the most beneficial after? Bro, it's honestly, it's really hard to answer that. I really want to wait for actually messing around. I think undoubtedly Monk and EK changes will be beneficial for sure. Like I don't see any real downsides or negatives on the Monk and EK changes. They're not super exciting necessarily, but they're definitely positive. The other vocations, it really remains to be seen. Like the other vocations could end up being nerfed, could end up being buffed. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Not until I've played around with them and had and checked the numbers. But I'm really annoyed that the YouTube comments are now not showing on the chat again. God damn. And they was working at the start of the stream. It was working even like 10 minutes ago, I think. So it must have just broken. I don't know why. Don't know why. May need to find some different provider that can combine the chat. Tibia had a pretty good year in 2025, so Monk and the updates really worked out. Yep. I mean, I'm optimistic, very optimistic that there's going to be a 6th vocation. It's going to be a little while, I think. I don't think they're going to rush into it. I think, 2028 would be a good year for a 7th vocation, I think. 6th vocation. Yes, 6th vocation. Well, maybe 7th. 7th would work as well. I'd be happy with a 7th vocation. Stream setup as stable as Tibia after a Tuesday patch. Hey, it's not my fault. Oh, look. Yo, what? It's there. No, look at the chat. It's there again. Midget. Midget? Mig. Miget. Miget magic. I'm sorry. I apologize. Miget magic. See, it's showing. It's showing on the chat now. You're there. So it fixed itself. Oh. Oh, God. I don't know what happened. Just spelled wrong. Yeah. Hang on. Brother in Christ. Liamas said that they will do some posting about the changes before test server. Really? I'm about to get cancelled, aren't I? I'm going to get banned. I'm going to get banned off Twitch, but I'll get a promotion on Kick. Very naughty. You mentioned a new supplier and it auto-fixed. Yeah. Gonna go somewhere else. Suddenly it's working. Sus. Very sus. Very sus indeed. So okay, so I'm gonna have to check on that in a second just to confirm. But yeah, if Liamas said that they're gonna post changes before the test server, honestly, I'm surprised. They don't normally do that. They do like the teasers or dev notes, and then they launch the test server, and you log in onto the test server, and that's when you see the actual changes, right? Sounds like they may go a different route here. So yeah, cool. So there's gonna be a hype moment where when they publish that, maybe next week or so they'll publish that. So we'll be able to sort of analyze it before the test server. That's cool. I hope that does happen. New vocation every 3 months, like new servers. Let's go. God, I cannot even imagine what unbalanced mess that would be. Cannot imagine what a mess that would be. A new vocation every 3 months, dude. Tipsoft can't even release Targuna without needing, 5 rounds of Tuesday patches to fix it, dude. How could look 6th class? What could be? Yeah, so you've got a few options. I mean, we've been theory crafting and talking about this for months. So for example, you could have a summoner. Yes, indeed, you could have a summoner. Many different variations of summoners. You could have like a single strong summon. You could have an army of summons. Lots of different. You could have permanent summons, temporary summons. There's lots of things you could do. Another couple of archetypes that are quite popular and people talk about different classes is a damage over time class. So you could have like a cursor, right? You curse someone with like poison, and then they take in overtime damage from like poison or fire or whatever, right? Basically you cast your spells on a box of monsters and then you move on, and then like they die behind you, that kind of setup. Or like bleeding, right, with like a rogue with like some daggers, right, to apply bleeds, for example. You could have like an auto attack focus class, so you could have a class which only does auto attacks, doesn't have like abilities like spells like other vocations, but the spells that the class does have would be like buffing and changing how the auto attack works. You know, for example, you could have a spell that gives you plus 500% damage to your next auto attack, a spell which increases the area of effect of your next auto attack, you know, this kind of stuff. You could have like an AA focused class. There's lots of things they could come up with, I'm sure, right? There's lots of things they could come up with. I think they could easily, if they really wanted, I'm sure they could end up in a situation where they have like 10 vocations in Tibia. There's enough ideas and concepts out there that they could make like 10 vocations probably. Would be amazing if they just released 2 vocations at the same time. The problem with that is that it's not really financially, doesn't make sense financially, right? They would rather scatter. They would rather scatter their vocations, so that they, you know, make the profit from them, right? All the creators and all the players who are interested in this stuff would want to play both of those, right? If they released 2 vocations at once, I would just play one, and I would only spend money on one. If they released one and then another one 6 months after, then I'd play both and spend money twice, right? So it doesn't make sense for them to release 2 vocations at once, financially speaking. Why are you not hunted in Harmony? Because there's no real difference at the moment. All right, here we go. We're done. Let's get out. And I prefer Justice for more sustain. Let's see what we get. Let's just do a quick roll on this one. Oh, I got... can't be bothered, though, with the Hellfire Fighters. Now, Justice... Yeah, I think right now, Justice and Harmony are, like, so similar, it doesn't matter. It's like, it really doesn't matter. After the rebalance, we're gonna evaluate them again, but right now, it doesn't matter. Justice or Harmony, both fine, more or less. There's honestly like less than 1% difference between them. It's spot dependent. Don't worry about it. Are the new vocations new some official info? Just gossip. Oh, gossip. Fully gossip. I mean, there's hints. There's hints that Tipsoft is giving, but yeah, it's gossip. Let me check this post. Okay, so there's a news ticker today. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So I'm not going to share it, but I'll read it out to you guys. Okay, so someone says, can we expect some teasers before test server for vocation rebalance start? And Liames replies saying, there won't be any teasers in the style of the quest teasers from the summer and winter updates. However, we will provide you with detailed information on the balancing status of each individual vocation before the server launch, and of course, what has been adjusted recently based on your feedback. We'd like to collect most of your feedback through the test board and hope many of you will take part. Okay, so they will actually, so it sounds like, you know, the dev notes that they've given, like the dev note 1 and 2, will probably get a dev note 3 with all the changes that they plan to make before the test server. I was not expecting that. That is awesome. It's going to give me some time to theory craft what I want to do on the test server. Oh, by the way, let's have a look. I've got some potions. Wealth Duplex and Cooldown Aid. I really messed up the drone. This year, so this rotation. What rank was I in the end? Rank 8. So I only got 2 potions. But hey, we got Wealth Duplex. I'll take it. And what's this one? Cooldown Aid. All right, let's try and sell those. Cooldown Aid. How much are those? 650k. Let's go. And Wealth Duplex. Oh shit, I've got 3 of them now. Under 3kk each. That's cheap, dude. Quite cheap. I could use them at like Warzone 7 or Warzone 9 and probably make more than that. Maybe I don't sell them. Maybe I don't sell them. Are those tasks worth for the EXP? Not really. It's more for like variety and, you know, horizontal progression of your character. It's probably not really worth though. Patch notes before the test server. I don't think it's going to be patch notes before test server. I think the patch notes with like detailed breakdown, like base damage, mana cost, cooldown, this kind of stuff for the new spells is still going to be on test server only. But I do think they'll provide a little more information prior to the test server, right? We're going to finish in a minute, by the way. I'm just wrapping up, by the way. So yeah, just last couple minutes if you want to ask any questions. Leave a Prime sub or something, you know, if any of that. Last couple of minutes before we're gonna end. I've got to drop. Let me just go recharge my Marud Rebrush and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if they drop as soon as they drop the patch notes, whenever that may be, I don't know if it's gonna be this week. I don't think so. I feel like they're probably gonna drop the patch notes next week. Or I don't even think I would call them the patch notes, right? What's going on? Oh shit! Wrong NPC. Oh god, what am I doing? I think it's probably, yeah, I think it's not going to be patch notes. It's going to be like a little dev note, right? Where they're going to say what changes they made without the numbers, you know? That'll probably be mid next week, I'd say. So then whenever that happens, I'll definitely do my best, as long as I'm not like working at the office, whatever. I'll do my best to like hop on and discuss those changes with you guys. So yeah, stay tuned, I guess. What is your outfit? It is martial artist. It's a store outfit. Store outfit with add-on 1 only. I don't like the add-on 2. The add-on 2 is like has like a little umbral claws on his hand, but I don't think that really works because that's not the weapon I use. So it kind of looks stupid to me. So I just use the martial artist outfit from the store with add-on 1 only. Ah, here we go. There's a Prime sub. The little prompt helped. Thank you. Thank you very much, Andeshu. Thank you. Thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Oh, interestingly, well, not interesting to you guys, but interesting to me. This is the house I wanted, by the way. This is the house I wanted, just north of the house I have now, by the depot, and it went on sale, or somebody moved out just the other day. So I'm bidding on it, and hopefully I'm going to have both of these houses next to each other. If I have both of them, I may actually decorate them in some way, you know, have like some theme, competing themes. Like, you know, maybe I'll have like a fire theme on one and like ice theme in the other or something. We'll see. Aren't you moving to Bravoria? Not in the immediate future, no. Not in the immediate future. Someone is going to start bid war with you? I mean, look, I don't actually care that much, okay? I don't actually care all that much. If someone really wants this house, they can have it. I mean, it's just a freaking house. I'm not much of an RPG house enjoyer, so if someone takes it, they take it. If I get it for cheap, then, you know, it's fine. Then I'll have these two next to each other. It'll be kind of cool. Are you not in Nevia anymore? No, I transferred out about 3 months ago. Nevia, not great for bounties, you know, not great for bounties. Oh yeah, so I don't want to do this Hellfire fight. I'm not feeling it. I do have on my preferred list, and it's even silver, but 515. It's like almost 3 hours of doing this at Mazaran. Oh, maybe. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I want to keep it or not. I do want to finish this, but I don't know. I guess I'll sleep on it. I'll keep it and I'll sleep on it, and then we can decide what to do during next stream. I guess Friday. We'll probably have a stream on Friday around the same time. You're going to play Igua OTS? I've been playing it since launch. I've been playing it for like 3 weeks, dude. I'm like over level 600 though. Yeah, I have been playing it. I'm actually getting to like a slightly burnt out place. I've been playing it so much, I'm actually not. I feel like I need a break from it a bit. Nevia is great for bounties if you if you're Hyoga. Sure. If you decide to be a total asshole and go to war against everybody and not respect anybody, yeah, sure, it's great. It's great. Totally great. Not my style though. Not my style. So I found Nevia quite annoying for bounties. And I'd rather play on like dead-ish or like way less populated server. All right. Anyway, we're going to call it for the day. So thanks for watching, everybody, on Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll be back on Friday. Is bounty worth doing on Igua OT? I mean, the way it works is you should always be rolling bounties because the odds of getting the bounties on Igua OT is much higher. So you should be having the bounties when you just hunt. You shouldn't be like going out of your way to do bounties. Like you should go to like Falcons and put both the Falcons on your preferred slots, and you're just going to be doing back to back to back to back to back Falcon bounties. And then of course it's worth it because you get more damage, more loot, more experience. Of course it's worth it. But it's not really worth going out of your way to hunt shit spots just to do bounties. All right, I'm off. Thank you very much, everybody. See you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye. And looking forward to some more rebalance info. We'll definitely be covering that whenever that drops. See you later. Bye-bye. Actually, just remembered another thing. I need to get back into the habit of raiding on Twitch. So we're going to raid on Twitch. Kick people and YouTube people, I guess you're not interested. But let me find somebody on Twitch that I can raid. Shit, I don't know anybody who's online. Valor streaming. Maybe we'll go to Valor on Twitch. Literally nobody's live on Twitch that I can tell. I guess everybody's gone to Kick, right, from Twitch. All right, I'm just gonna send a raid out to Valor. Don't really know him, but whatever. I'll send a raid out on Twitch, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye bye.
Hello.